this computer. Now we're recording. Beautiful. Welcome to the Dice Are Bad Storytellers. My name is Jacom Clarkson. I'll be your DM today, and this is our session 3 of Ojoysa. Welcome, everybody. I'm joined today by Addison, Addie, Alex, Daniel, and Phil. If you want to know more about their names, go on to YouTube, because I will stop holding them ransom at their names every start of the session. But we have just left off right where we left off on Sir Emory's airship, and they have just very functionally rebuffed an assassination attempt that seems to be come from Justikar Malekith. It is sunset, roughly. You know, the sun is still up, but we can see Point Wreck off of the port. I need to learn ship terms. Off of the front of the ship, and that's kind of been our first destination. The bow. We had just ended with you guys kind of killing some of these assassins, and a bunch of them being thrown off the ship by Alex's water orb. And people are starting to regroup. The ship is going blisteringly fast now. Like, you've outpaced the two ships that that had tried to connect to you, as well as the galleon. And you can see them still visibly behind you, but it doesn't look like they're pursuing. They don't have the oomph to do that. Atria is starting to explain this to Captain. She's like, "Yeah, they can't keep up with us now. Their cannons won't even reach us, but." You know, you guys did a good job keeping them off us while we got up to speed.
I paid for the very best of sails.
She looks up and I still don't know quite how those work, but they're nice.
They are indeed. Someday, if you've got a decade or two, I'll explain them to you.
I'm gonna say, actually, I'm going to live a long time, so if you. Not now, though. I know we're busy.
Perhaps you may, sir, but I will not. Gotta make the most of the time when I can.
Crush.
So smarmy. What I just want to take a second and kind of check in with everybody's characters. What are people thinking as this? I've got to roll some important rolls about the world around you. I just kind of want to give everybody a chance to go through what's the mental state of your character right now. Like, what's on their mind? What are they concerned about? Whoever wants to go, we'll make this elective.
Johan,
I think after you.
Johan is not doing great. That's pretty much a constant state of being for Johan.
What else is new?
Yeah, but he was very content with trying to keep his identity secret, and now that he's been found out, and he does blame Karina a little bit for that, since she was not doing her best to actually try and help him keep that identity hidden. He's just sort of trying to figure stuff out at the moment.
Okay.
I think the Justikar might be trying to have us killed. That's the extent of his thoughts as of now.
Atria goes, I've never trusted them. Whenever we, got the Royal Commission to make this ship, they didn't trust my input as a captain. They said I didn't know how things worked in the air. They tried to belittle my seafaring abilities from dawn to dusk. So I personally don't like them either.
Well, we proved them dead wrong.
She looks over at like the gore that's splashed across the side of the ship. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Dead wrong.
Wow.
Does anybody else want to? I mean, I would love to get everybody's mental state, like what Johan gave me there.
I'm thinking to myself a couple of things. For one, my first and most prudent thought was I should have listened to my bodyguard more because he had the right of it. And I was just like, no, we'll politics this. And then they tried to murder me. So I'm having I'm gonna have what I'm gonna call a moment of reality where I realize that things do not work here the same way they work when I am a diplomat. Even though I am a diplomat, this is a little bit different. So I'm having that moment, and then I'm also having a much bigger moment where I'm trying to decide how to deal with Johan. Because on the one hand, I'm pretty sure he didn't he died, like, the official word is he died a hero, right?
Yes, that's the official
And
statement.
did anything that I saw during the wedding make me not believe that?
Oh yeah, I mean, the Emperor probably would have made you privy to the fact that he was kind of only a hero as a figurehead, and he made a really big mistake that almost ruined everything. But he managed to redeem himself at the last second.
Okay, so I have a couple, and I am aware that he's supposed to be married to Karina, right?
Yes.
Is
Okay. Is well,
married.
I mean, yeah. So I'm having a really complicated moment. Because on the one hand, I know that he did something very questionable at the wedding. But on the other hand, for one, I know that he is technically the king. I know that might be contested, but I recognize that as a diplomat, I have to tread carefully here in case he does become the king. And two, I'm having an even bigger crisis because I realize that all the bad things in his life might have been meant for me, and that I potentially owe him my life, and he probably has no idea. So I'm just turning all that over my head because I'm having a moment. But outwardly, I'm just kind of looking at Sir Emory's sailing sails and trying to figure out how they work without 10 years of lecture.
For sure. Give me an Arcana check just on the sails, and this is just for storytelling. What about you, Corvus?
Not much. Felt like what they sent was less than he had expected. The attempt to kill them didn't seem, well, like they were actually trying. Felt like there should have been more effort involved in that than there actually was. And then, I don't know, just concern about how soon he's going to be arguably in a position where I guess where he'd be able to be back in touch, if anything, with old contacts or something along those lines, because especially with recent events now, he has, well, bigger questions and concerns about, like Gadris trying to bring the order back together and all of that.
Gotcha. Okay. We'll stop by with Lyre.
Well, she's pretty excited about figuring out well, she doesn't know who Johan is, but she's figured out that that guard is not who he says he is. So she's pretty excited about that. She's like this calm, cool, collected peasant. And she's like, yeah, I figured out a state murder, basically. Like putting the dots together in a murder mystery.
I should also mention that Johan is very attractive.
So, do you not see me like flirting daily with Qiao? Qiao?
Oh, that wasn't for you. That was just in general.
Okay. With his little disguise thing, like I'd ever treat that as real.
Lyre's a cat girl. I mean, in terms of being like desirable by weird people, that sounds so awful. This is going on YouTube. You get what I mean.
Really?
There's a whole.
It's going on YouTube. I think it's perfectly fine that you're about to mention furries.
You're hentai me. You're like furrying me up right now. I'm like.
I'm not trying to. No, I'm just saying that's a arguable point. Anyway.
Anyway.
Like, don't test me. I have cat ears somewhere from when I was in high school.
Nice.
Yeah, I was that girl.
So mostly talking about Johan and just kind of being like excited to know that the guard was disguising himself.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you think
How about
cute
you?
Qiao-
Huh?
Just thinking about how cute Qiao is.
Addie, are you just trying to bring my high school experience back to not in this specific sense, just in the let's make life awkward for Alex sense? Is this what's
She's
happening?
still got the cat ears.
I guess she does. Yeah.
I'm repping our high school. I'm repping the high school right now.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
I don't have any of my magnet stuff left anymore.
I still have the pajamas. I've got shirts. I think I have my gym shirt somewhere. I'm ready for my 10-year reunion where I've done nothing.
Man, you guys got some swag.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. How about Sir
pajamas
Emory?
are the comfiest thing in the universe.
She's not wrong. They were pretty nice.
Emory's probably concerned, worried about Malakath again. It doesn't seem like that was much of a force. If they were going to try to kill us, they know that we're more than we're more than those guys could have handled. So he's a bit concerned with that, but also interested in kind of what's ahead of us. As far as like places to settle, how far are we from kind of unexplored land?
So as you guys are looking out over this, massive land, which is bigger than any island you've ever experienced, which is very new for everyone looking at it. It's been here for about 3 years, 3.5 years is when it started to show up, but this is kind of the most new. And so it's kind of funny, like Point Rec started out as a single point on this new landmass, and as the coast retreated, it's kind of slid down the mountainside, kind of slid down the coast. And so like Point Rec has kind of become this sprawling metropolis that's kind of this like straight line, but it's a pirate metropolis. It's just kind of, it's not like a fancy area.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so not much of a the location. It's interesting. For the past probably 3 years, you've been mapping out the area. You've got a really good idea of what it is, but you can only fly over so much and then map out so much. So there's huge chunks of places that are like obscured by a mountain range or in a deep valley, or that you can't get visual on that could be great places. There are several ruins that are like dwarven ruins or ancient civilization ruins that, because they've been underwater so long, are all but destroyed. You've gotten pretty good at measuring, like, oh, that looks like an archway, or this, according to this historical text, it should be somewhere over here under the assumption it's raised so much. It's a lot of like reverse engineering. Qiao, as you're looking at these sails, you recognize there's some sort of Aurelian magic. There's some sort of like whatever magic Sir Emory does that's so unique to him, and it seems like it's kind of depleted. It seems like doing this sprint has made the magic that keeps the ship up more depleted than normal. As you're thinking through this, Adria comes up to Sir Emory as kind of in a hushed tone. She's like, "Sir, we can't do another one of those like that. Before it was like we were going to rest in Point Rec for a day. It's going to be at least 3 before we can reliably get up in the air again."
3 days in Point Rec. And remind me, it's a pirate settlement, right?
I mean, that's just the best way to describe it. It's not lawless, but it's not official. It's kind of like the point where all the Old Wessex immigrants come to kind of get away from Old Wessex and get to the new land, and then they spread out. So there are smaller cities around, but it's got a high Old Wessex presence, but nothing official. So it's just kind of like a colony is the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So as she tells me that, I'll turn to everybody on the ship and say, well, boys, what do you say? Do you fancy... oh my God, that's not what he sounds like. What do you say, 3 days among the scoundrels, then?
Sure.
I
love
suppose.
scoundrels.
That's the enthusiasm I was looking for.
Johan, Karina has been very silent ever since she was shot down and then brought back up. She's
Again.
been very quiet. Before, you kind of have, like, as your black magic that was, from your spell from before is starting to fade off, she talks into your mind. Did you only come back because I became queen? Why did you come back now? Why weren't you here earlier? What, do you love me? And she's just kind of looking out toward Point Rec, talking to you in your mind, not saying this out loud.
I didn't know how to apologize.
Well, you are a smart man, and you are a beautiful man. But I can't speak to your wisdom. I think you're quite foolish, which I can forgive, but being a fool is a young man's game. I'll need to think a little bit. She walks off, and she goes and kind of stands next to you, Lyre. The ship kind of is starting to get close to Point Rec. For those of you who have been on the Ojoysa before, this is big chunks of the Ojoysa. Once this landmass appeared, the Ojoysa was this giant ship state that, when there was not a lot of landmass, was kind of like its own country. Big portions of the Ojoysa have been hunked off and used to make buildings at Point Rec. And so quite literally, it's a giant ship's wreck, although it was all intentionally made to, repurposed into the city. You guys start to descend into the city. Atria, again, looks over to Sir Emory. She goes, are we worried that Mathis is going to come and try and harm us, or that he's should we hide the ship? Because we stand out.
Oh, you saw what happened last time.
Aye, sir. She pulls it down. She finds a place to dock. She goes, Dockhand says it's going to be, 2 gold a day to park here.
I take 50 gold and I pay the lad.
All right, she goes, heck yeah. She starts walking over here. Lyre, I'm just going to give this to you for free because we'll call this like a lady's intuition or something like that. Atria is gnarled. She's unpleasant. She's a very strong, capable person, and it seems foolish to you that she would be on this ship exclusively for the pay with Sir Emory. And it kind of seems like one of those working things where it's hard to know exactly what's going on, but that you question her motives.
Okay. Just an insight check.
Yeah. If you'd like to roll an insight check to get more explicit, you can just tell me that or send it to me in the chat either way. You guys stop down. This area has also been affected by the tsunami and the earthquake. It's kind of messed up, but this is kind of a more rough and tumble. Most of the people are here are kind of higher level, to break the curtain. They kind of seem like these are outlaws and vagabonds, as well as hardy pioneers, people who wanted to come to the new world to develop their wealth. And so looking around, you see a couple people who have these warlock powers, and they just seem to be looking at it as a gift. This is a bustling area, so there are people talking about it, town criers trying to yell out the news. They've gotten the news around the same time you arrived about Karina becoming queen. With the 14 insight, you think she has a crush on him. You think she's like, there's something more, but it might be more complicated than just a crush. It's like, yeah.
Okay.
Now that we've landed, since the Ojoysa used to be my home for a considerable amount of time, I'm gonna sort of start looking around just to see if I can find, kind of like how when you return home after being away for a long time, you try and find anything that reminds you of how things used to be.
Yeah.
Johan's kind of gonna do that. And then
Mm-hmm.
upon hearing that there are people here who have warlock powers, he is going to try and seek them out.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check. Corvus, I'm going to say that, we'll come to that. Let me know what you get, Phil.
Investigation?
Yeah.
12.
Okay. It's kind of like you described, like you come home from a long time away. You recognize people like you vaguely remember seeing, like you recognize these people that are like, oh yeah, we went to college together. So, like I couldn't remember your name or where I know you from. You see the tavern that that was like kind of home base on the Ojoysa for you and the crew.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of been repurposed into like it's still a tavern, but it's also like the first tavern off the pier, Looks like
are the rooms still part of it as well? Like the inn rooms or whatever?
I mean, you're standing outside of it if you want to like get involved and come inside.
Yeah, I'll go in.
Okay. What's everybody else doing here? Are they kind of all walking along, coming with Johan?
If people are, I am gonna follow Johan. Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's where I'm going too.
Karina's coming around.
You said it. Wait, who's doing that? Karina?
Karina's following along. Her arms are crossed. She seems very closed off.
I'll follow with Karina.
I'm assuming it's pretty obvious I'm being followed.
Yeah, we're like.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is just kind of like all a group.
We're hiding behind individual like houses, like peeking around, and then ducking back behind you.
Sir Emory is over there.
The married couple awkwardly shuffle along. You see.
He's just gone around the corner.
Atria yells off the ship, "I'm gonna batten things down a little bit, and I'll join you for a drink after."
Good man.
I'm a woman. Okay. She returns.
Good woman. Don't like that. Good man.
Aye, sir. She turns around, starts working on
Good
stuff.
woman. No.
I'm feeling for
gender-neutral
her
praise from Sir
so
Ward.
hard now.
You walk in. You see the giant woman who used to run this tavern before. She matches your eyes, and she recognizes you immediately.
Oh. I just sort of try and hide my face a little bit. And what I'm going to do here is find out if the rooms are still attached.
Okay, she walks up to you guys actively. It's a bustling bar. It's just hitting sundown, so people are coming in for their drinks and coming in to just kind of shoot the breeze, chill out for the night. And she sees your large group and goes, "We've got a colorful crew here. It's been a while since I've had such fun adventurers since before I was on the sea." She's a very large woman, the kind of woman makes good food. That sounds so judgy, but you know what I mean.
No, it's perfect.
Big. Yeah.
It's true though.
It's true though.
Very southern.
And she goes, well, if you'd like some rooms, we can host you here. We've got some wonderful brews and stews. It's a little chaotic out there lately, but I'd like to keep order in the bar.
I'll do some brews and stews. Do you need a bard tonight? Need some music tonight?
We can always use a bard. I always get too frisky. I have to kick them out. But I would love to have you be our bard. Just so you all know, I am the lady of the tavern, Mistress Pomp. Some people like to call me. I mean, that's my name, so they should call me it. And I have a thing for faces. And so she looks at Qiao. She looks at you. She goes, I won't forget you till the day I die. I swear it. And then she comes to Corvus and she goes, I don't like you.
Why is that?
I can't see your face, young sir.
You're
Well,
wearing a hood, dipshit.
not just a hood, it's a
He's
mask.
wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And a hood. I remember
That's
a
true.
hood being mentioned as
You
well.
are right. You are correct.
Get
Well-
wrecked, guys. I remember stuff from day one.
If at all possible, I'd like to know who the people at my bar are. If you would be willing to remove it, I'd appreciate it. But if not, just I can respect that. Just make sure that your
This is-
compatriots can vouch for you. What?
He's good enough.
This is who I am.
He is he
He's a good guy.
is an honorable man.
I'm
He's
an
a
asshole.
A day and a half, a stellar man.
I look
Right.
Sounds
over
like
About
some,
Johan, I've seen you say you have the thing for faces. I've seen Johan there change his face 2 or 3 times. What are your thoughts on that?
You're asking Sir Mistress Pomp that?
Oh yes, sir.
Well, it doesn't surprise me because the last I heard about this young man, he was dead.
Surprised the hell out of me.
So he goes, I'm not looking for any trouble if you haven't brought any. Just don't let everybody know you're alive because there's a lot of people who, there's a lot of wars who were stopped because you were dead. And it's been a couple years, so maybe the drama's been let go, but I'm waxing poetic now. Let me get you your drinks. Let me go get you your brews and stews. She runs off and finds you guys a bar to stay at and starts to get you some food. She said that there were rooms. And from what you can tell, it looks like the majority of this inn has just been chunked out and placed on the ground, you know? And so you have every reason to believe that the inns are still attached to you. The rooms are still attached to the inn.
I'm going to stand up. Actually, I'm going to quickly chug down an entire ale. And then I'm going to
That's Karina.
belch loudly and say, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then I'm gonna stand up and leave. And I'm gonna go and try and find my old room.
Okay. I'm gonna say you can find it for free. You find the place that you were at. Karina immediately turns to Lyre and she goes, he's being obtuse. I'm right. He is being stupid. He's acting like a total brute. Is he doing that intentionally? Do you think? Is he like playing a game here?
Okay, so girl, I'm gonna level with you. You know him way better than I do. This is like the second day, but I know guys, and this one's being fucking weird. Just like, who does
Acting
that?
strange.
He's like burping and going to like, I'm going to the bathroom. Like, come on, you're an adult man. Like, just go. Like, he's up to something.
I'm going to cut into this conversation, and I'm going to say, excuse me, Karina,
Yeah.
so sorry to interrupt this discussion, but is that man the king? Because that would be important.
Well, I I'm the queen
No.
first and foremost, so I'm also important, I would argue.
No, I'm not questioning your importance. I know I was sent to speak with you. But
Right.
is that man the king?
I think he's a
Because
prince.
In the most strict of senses, yes, he would be the king. In the same way that the royal couple is always both king and queen. If I were to fail to recognize him as king, he would never become king because he's believed to be dead. But I don't have any intention to do this. I love him. I'm just a little
But it's also been
frustrated with
5
him.
years, girl. It's been 5 years.
It's only been 4.
Do you love him? 4 years. Retcon. 4 years.
Mistress Pomp comes up and pulls up she gives this really hearty stew and passes that out, and she goes, "Any more ales around? Okay." And Karina seems to take the break in the conversation to just kind of keep thinking and doesn't answer your question right away.
Okay, well, I'll take another ale, and after I finish that one and then my first one, I'll climb up on some table and perform for the bar.
Goes, "Ooh, everybody, let's have some fun!" Mistress Pomp starts, clapping her hands as well. She does a little fun, jaunty jig. Daniel, as you're standing there as Corvus, there's kind of a notice board in the tavern. Notice board. You see a young boy walk in, and he looks like he's trying to remember something. And he walks up, and he has a piece of paper in his hands, and he pins it on the board, and then he gives a very distinct series of knocks as he's trying to remember them on the piece of wood, looking around like he's really nervous, and he runs out. You recognize these knocks as being a pattern for you. This is like a code speak. He's trying to signal to you that whatever he's put on the board is for you.
Figured. After a moment, and once Lyre is fully playing, I'll nudge Qiao and say, "I shall be back shortly." And go up and grab the notice.
Okay.
I like the lesson you took from my statement about Johan. Don't have to make it weird.
The lesson?
Yeah, I was telling Karina that you can't just say, "Hey, I'm going to the bathroom," as weirdly as possible.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
He goes, I mean, he is.
Anyway.
Trust this man. He's not doing anything shady at all.
Karina kind of nods and the silent agreement from Karina. Okay, you walk up, you see the note. It's written in Primordial, and it's also in code speak. So if Qiao were to read this, it would kind of look like looking for crew, and it would be weird for it to be in Primordial, but it could exist. But when you look at it in code, it says, "Gadrus is calling on you.
Dipper.
Current task is terminated. Dispose of affiliates."
What on earth do they mean by dispose?
I'm above table. Does that mean Corvus is going to try and kill us all?
He's just been asked to.
Wow. Out of game.
I want to say, when asked about impressions of this guy, I said he was an asshole. So there's that.
I'm so glad that I've just decided to trust this man more.
You're welcome.
Like I said, I love the man. Nothing
And
shady
I'm going to
about him
add
at
one
all.
more. I'm going to add one more thing about this note. It says, "Pith rises, and with her, so do we."
Ooh.
Phil, while you're at, you find your room. What are you doing at this room?
So, it's going to be a very long, complicated sequence of events. I hope you can keep up.
Hey.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
This was the last place before the wedding that I had an actual spoken connection to Pith. I'd like to try and do that again.
Okay.
Seeing as how the energies necessary to do so might still be lingering here in a certain way, since I did carve runes into the doorway, if I remember right.
Yeah, you find them, you reach them. That's actually, thank you for bringing that up. This is the retcon that I was mentioning. When you saw the characters in the guy's chest, you could read them. They were in what you know to be deep speech, but they were magical hubble bubble. It was just kind of magical phrases, something that Sir Emory could detect, discern into like something sensible. But for you, it's kind of like a wizard's book. It's kind of technical. Roll me an Arcana check. And I want you to roll me one as well, Qiao.
Hey, look at that, 19.
You come up to the door.
24.
24. You put your hand to it. I need to make a luck check. Okay. And nothing happens. But you remember, I'll give you this for free. You remember the last time you did this, this room was technically below sea level. This was in the ocean. And right now you are not above the ocean. You feel...
I am above the ocean.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, you are above the ocean, sorry. Alex, just kind of assuming that you're kind of always in touch with kind of magical energies around you, you feel a sharp ping of something reaching out for the depths nearby. Something kind of trying to reach for it, but it was too far away.
Reaching, can you repeat that? I didn't, it cut out.
You felt something, because, like we described in your meditation state, there's like this, the ocean, the earth, the sky, and the depths. You felt this pinging from the depths. You felt something trying to communicate from it and or to it, but wasn't able to.
I'm going to whatever I was doing, I'm going to stop and quickly turn in the direction that I felt, the feeling from, but I can't glean anything more from this, right? I just feel that something has happened.
And this is more profound. So for instance, Daniel, technically, Corvus's abilities are technically from the depths, but they're in a very germane sense. They're just kind of like necrotic energy, This was like a communication to the depths. This was unique in that.
I'm going to turn to my remaining party and I'm going to say, someone is attempting to contact something in the depths. And I'm just looking around. I mean, I don't know who's done this, so...
Corvus and Johan are away from the table right now.
That basically means it's just Sir Emory because our bard is
performing.
I guess I'm just telling Sir Emory then.
Sir Emory will...
Karina's at the table.
Sir Emory's got half a glass left of wine and says, well, we can't have that, can we? And water falls into his mouth. It splashes on his shirt, so he casts Prestidigitation, and it disappears from his shirt. And says, onward to the Pythian? Pith? Worshipper?
Pith-I?
Onward!
Roll me a performance check, Lyre.
That will be a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, awesome. It's an uproarious time. You get the sea shanties out. There are tons of people partying and singing and what to do the drunken sailor, just truly into it. And you are playing with them. You're giving them all the tunes they remembered but didn't know and wanted to get into. And Mistress Pomp comes up and goes, if you keep this up, young lady, we're going to have you here more often.
I wouldn't mind coming back. It just depends on wherever Qiao and Sir Emory take me.
She slips a gold into your cup. Hopefully back here soon. This kind of turned dark outside, like, kind of the night has descended. As is happening, Atria comes up. She's looking all gnarled up. Her sleeves are pulled up really high. She's got like some tar smudges on her. Hey, are you guys drinking for two? Can I jump in?
Always. Oh, by the way, I thought of it. Good lass.
I like that one. Good
Took me a
lass. Hey,
moment,
yeah.
but I've thought of it. And I'll press the digitation. I'll clean the tar off of her.
Thank you, thank you. You are a smart man. That is one thing I can't fault you for. She sits down and starts drinking.
Corvus is back when I assume, because
yeah,
leave the notice exactly where it was.
Dipper.
Then comes back, and I assume by that point he is, which means there are things you faulted for.
What? You cut out for me.
she's like blushes a little bit. I'm like, well, he's not the most polite man. Hey.
Oh, no.
Awkward boss talk. He goes, but no, he's definitely the smartest man I've met, and
we'll
good
ever
at bartering.
meet.
Good at bartering. Some of the people around the bar are like, yeah, all right. Like, yeah, okay, they get your shtick, Phil, what are you doing?
I am going to walk back out into the drinking hall, or whatever you want to call it, the main lobby area. And I'm going to just sort of walk back over to the table.
Oh, welcome back. Not trying to talk to Pith, were you? Oh.
No.
Insight check.
Roll, yeah.
Can I roll that as well?
Yeah, and I'm going to make you do it with, I'm not going to make Phil roll with disadvantage, but you guys can roll with advantage.
Oh, good, because the first was a natural 1.
They weren't good.
Second is a natural
Weren't
5.
good. Wow. What do you say, Phil?
What's that?
What's your response to that?
I said, no. That was my response.
Man.
Okay, they rolled pretty low. I'm gonna say
I rolled a 23 on
at
my.
this point it's hard to know if it. Yeah, at this point it's hard to know if it matters. So it's not that they don't trust you. It's just it's hard to know if what would that accomplish. There are Pythians running around all over the place. And so it's not a matter of them not believing you. It's a matter of it not being important right now, potentially. Everybody's talking to Pith right now.
Hey, are we asking
So
people talking to Pith?
It was just something from the depths. I don't know if it was Pith. Could be something else. I mean, it's not the only thing down there.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what they were trying to do.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen now. Unless you guys want to do some stuff before you guys go to bed for the night, we can move on toward kind of going to sleep and then figuring out what we're going to do. Because you guys are kind of trapped in this area for the next 2-3 days. And there are events that are going to happen, and the world's going to be moving around. And the world's going to be moving around as you guys are doing your things as well, but there's not like a trap waiting. Like if you don't do anything for a week, the world doesn't explode. You know what I mean? Like you guys kind of have some flexibility with what you do with this time. Anything you guys would like to do with this night? Yeah.
After everybody else sort of goes off and does their thing or whatever they're going to do, I'm going to
try and track down or see if there's any, just sort of ask around, disguising myself to look like some random person. I'm going to ask around and see if there's anybody else that has found or that has these warlock powers, these eldritch powers suddenly.
For sure. We'll come back to that. What else will people want to do as they're going to bed?
I am going to. Are we going to take rooms here?
That was the idea, but you don't have to.
Okay, I am going to take rooms here, and I'm going to spend an hour. I'm going to spend an hour to do a ritual casting of Find Familiar. And I'm going to choose a hawk as my familiar. And I'm going to direct it to go keep watch for the for any of the men, anyone that looks like they might be of the people that tried to kill us before. I'm going to tell it to go sit on top of the inn and keep an eye out for the ships and keep an eye out for the just general, people who might look like anyone I recognize, especially, not that I'd see him, but the Justicar. If that is, and I'm just going to keep an eye on that.
Okay.
But that's it.
Are all the shops
Okay.
closed right now?
Once
There's still some stuff you could do. You could go out and do some things. What do you want to do, Daniel?
once everyone else is asleep, especially Qiao, because probably sleeps the least, I'm going to, do my best to sneak out without anyone noticing me, wander around for probably about an hour, and if nothing happens in that hour, come back.
Okay, we're going to come to that last, so don't let me move on to the next day until we get there. But yeah, so Emory, there are shops open right now, so you and Phil will probably be out around the same time as this going on. Lyre, are you just performing and performing?
I'm performing and performing. Tell me if I make any money, please.
Oh yeah, you for sure are. Sorry, I've got a burp coming on. Okay, so let's say this is happening at the same time. You go and start finding familiar, while Corvus is, nearby, kind of keeping watch. Nobody's gone to sleep yet. Lyre, after Sir Emory and Phil leave, Sir Emory and Johan leave to go shopping and do whatever they're doing, Atria comes up to you while you're playing, and she's a little bit drunk, and she's immediately like, I don't get it. The guy is an asshole. The guy is the worst. I joined his crew because it was good money and it was better than killing him. And now it's like nobody else is smart as him. But at the same time, that's not a good thing. He's the worst. He is actually the worst. I don't it's kind of like an itch that you really grow to like. She just kind of is going on and on about this strange relationship where she's not into him, but she also knows there's no one out there that's as smart or as wealthy, and so it's it's a very awkward feeling for her. And she's like, I probably should have just killed him.
Get this feeling.
Huh? Oh. Everybody froze for a second.
And then when
He's back.
I'm back now. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, the recording's still going. Okay. So I cut off right as you said, I get this feeling that you're something. So start right there.
Oh, sorry.
wait,
Oh, no,
Can you hear me?
okay.
what did I just say?
We're talking about the Tinder dating.
Oh, so I get this feeling out of game in real life when last year I was Tinder dating and I met this doctor, soon to be doctor, he was in residency, and he was just he was like really smart, but he was also like a total douchebag. And I'm like, I have most of a bachelor's degree. I almost went to med school. Like, come on, dude, stop
I'm
it.
gonna watch this online.
But I also was
just to
like,
break his little
am
heart.
I into it?
That's funny. So
So-
that experience. Mhm.
So I get it. I get her feelings on it.
Okay, you get her feelings. Okay, so she just kind of waxes poetic about that. Phil, roll me an investigation check, and Sir Emory, what are you wanting to do while this is going on?
I may try to go find an armory.
Okay. You find
15.
one pretty quickly. 16?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You find one pretty quickly. It's pretty ramshackle, but it's it's an armory. They would have swords and things for you to use.
Emory
And-
is kind of thrown. Oh, go on.
Sorry.
Is he quiet for anyone else?
Oh yeah,
You're a
Right.
little quiet, Emory.
your microphone's up.
Oh, I'm actually using a different mic.
Might
Oh,
want
I
to check
see.
and make sure that it's going through the right mic.
And now you're muted too.
Is this any better?
No.
That's a little better.
Not really.
1 second.
What a comedy of errors for this microphone thing, though.
How's this for you?
Much
Oh,
better.
That's better.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Emory is initially thrown off by the ramshackle appearance. Does it look like they'd have any kind of enchanted weaponry, or is this going to be for the peasants?
Probably, I guess roll me an insight. Roll me an insight on this little shop. Phil, with the 16, you very quickly find that most of them are in a medical place. Like they've all been sent to the same kind of hospital to see if this is like a magical illness.
Mhm.
But you can move to there, and we'll talk about what happens when you get there. What about you? What's up, Sir Emmer?
That'll be a 16.
A 16. This place is like a secret hole in the wall. Like it's like there's a lot of very capable pirates and very capable sailors who come through who have dropped off whatever artifacts they found. So you might have a better shot of finding something good here than in a dinky shop in Old Wessex.
We'll give it a shot then. I'm going to go in. I'm going to see if I can find an enchanted shield, perhaps a +1 shield, that also matches my armor. If it doesn't match the armor, I'm going to throw it aside and we'll find another one later.
Okay. I'm going to roll a luck check for you.
Please.
Unfortunately, they don't have any +1 shields.
That's a pity. Any +1 longswords?
We'll roll another one. Do this one
They
with
need vorpal
advantage.
swords.
You see a pirate sword that is like a scimitar, and it's just the blade is just layered with curse words all along like the blade of the thing. Like it's pirate magic, but it is a +1 scimitar.
Please tell me that it's cursed.
Instant
I'm trying to
scurvy.
decide. How much you there? How much for the wretched
Oh.
sword there? The one with the pirate words that I dare not utter here.
He looks you up and down. He goes, "Oh, for you, sir, oh, I couldn't part with it for less than 1,000 gold. That's a great sword right there."
Done deal. And I'll give the man 100 platinum.
What?
You are going to cut
Oh.
down on the thief population of this city because they're all going to try to come kill you, and none of them are going to be able to do it.
I hope you can consistently hit an AC of 26.
Yeah, that's a problem for thieves.
It's a problem for everyone.
This man is shocked beyond belief. He goes, "For sure, yes, sir. We'll gift wrap it for you." They like get some like newspaper and like wrap it up for you. Try and make it look nice.
Oh, no need for that. And I'll take my current sword off, slap it on the table, take his in the sheath, and say, "Good man," and I'll leave.
All right, awesome. I'm gonna do a little roll here. Okay, cool. Okay, you have a +1 scimitar. Phil, when you get to the hospital, it looks like it's chaotic, of course, because this is a fantasy hospital, and so like there's a lot of magicians and clerics helping out. And you see a lot of. You're still wearing your like do rag or you're disguised fully, right?
Yeah, disguise self. And as soon as I get close, I sort of make myself look like one of the attending nurses or something.
Okay. We'll just say for ease of us, you weave your way into this hospital where there's these people who are afflicted with whatever this diseases are. And you see some of them, the rage still hasn't worn off. Some of them are still tied down and are struggling to not be enraged. There are a couple people who have died here from not necessarily the illness, but have been killed by other people nearby them. And it looks like these are all people, like you guys just left this morning from Old Wessex. And so there's not a lot of people here from Old Wessex yet, or there's not like immigrants over. Like you're at the very beginning of this kind of problem still.
There any women?
Yes, there are. There are less here than in Old Wessex, mostly because there are less people, but also because there's less nobles. There are about 8 women here and about
That are
20 men
that are cursed, I mean.
that are cursed. Yeah, and they're all in the same place.
So I'm going to go in to one of those rooms where there's a woman that is, I guess, not super rage-induced at the moment. And, you know, still disguised like a nurse kind of thing. And I'm going to start asking them questions about these powers, like when did you get these powers? I'll just ask him in character.
Yeah, he goes, it was just earlier this morning. There was an earthquake, and then suddenly I was so angry, and I think I killed somebody. But
Oh
they're all being,
no!
yeah, they're being very relaxed about it because everybody was so enraged. It's a very weird time. But I think I might go to prison.
I don't
She's
think
very,
prison's in your future. I think everything's going to work out just fine. I
thanks.
do have a few more questions for you, though. Do you happen to have any writing on you at all?
I was really
Anywhere?
nervous to show some of the people, but yeah, she pulls up her shirt, and she has a black mark right underneath her belly button, about an inch lower than her belly button. Yeah, that just showed up. I didn't notice it until about a couple of minutes ago when I bathed. But yeah, am I going to be okay? Is this some sort of magical illness or?
It is a magical illness, but the doctors are working on a cure. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. I wanted to ask, do you ever remember seeing a really no, you know what? That question's not really going to work. Have you slept with anybody recently?
She's kind of like awkwardly. I don't know if STDs are like a thing, like or if they've like isolated as like a thing. It was, not recently. When I was like a younger woman, and I was a pirate, I did a little bit of fooling around, I guess.
Do you remember a man with the last name of Greenwater?
Actually, I do. I didn't sleep with him, or I didn't sleep with anybody with that last name. But there was a guy in Reliquary, or Midway, right?
I think so. We've been able to figure out it's somehow related to him.
Oh gosh.
Have you?
No, this sounds really scary and complicated, and I didn't do anything with him. But yeah,
Do you know who
there's
did?
there was a man who called himself Greenwater, but he wasn't the Greenwater. He was just a Greenwater, I think.
I say in my normal voice, under my breath. Could you describe him for me? This will really help us find the cause of all of this. He might be patient zero.
I didn't. Okay, I didn't mean to do this for you, and you kind of hedged me into a corner on it. I just remember that he had brown hair, and it might have been, I don't know, a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and I was traveling in the southern seas, and he had brown hair. He was really handsome, and we were just drunk.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you answering my questions. I'm going to leave now. And I leave.
You walk back into the hallway, and Karina, who has disguised herself as a stubble-covered doctor, or like, healer, pirate healer, is like, "Hey, I've been waiting for you in the hallway while you're doing your investigation." This disguising magic is very cool. It's really cool. I'm a huge fan. Are you okay?
I don't know who you are.
She talks to you in your mind. Clever. You're a flatterer. She leaves with you. Anything else you want to do here?
No.
I thought you were going to kill her for a second, too.
Anyway, I'm going to go to the shops on my way back.
Okay.
And let's see. Okay, at one point I am going to drop disguise and I'm going to look myself again. I'm going to talk to Karina and I'm going to say, listen, you can't be following me everywhere we go like a lost puppy. Not to sound like a dick, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of things here.
Roll a reflex save.
Like a dexterity saving throw?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, 19.
She got a nat 20. She baps you one on the side of the face, and she goes, "I'm going back to the bar. Where you're going to treat me like a human person. Come say hello. Bye." And she walks back to the tavern.
Okay, good. She left. Just what I wanted. And I'm going to disguise myself again.
Johan is the absolute worst. Okay.
Yes, he is. I hate him. But and then I'm gonna go into like where there are shops.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not too late.
It's getting there, but you can probably stop him.
I'm gonna look around to see if there's anybody that's selling any kind of studded leather armor. +1 or otherwise.
Sure. I'm gonna add this onto what Sir Emory was noticing. There's a lot of artifacts from the mainland that seem of dubious report. Like some of them might actually be from like an old settlement or ruin, but a lot of them might just be like made up to look like they are. And I'll let you roll a history check, Sir Emory, if you can tell how much is true or not. But Yeah, I'm gonna say you can find a place that has like set of the leather armor readily available.
Okay. Do they have any that's enchanted at all in any way?
Let's roll a luck check.
And
do
I would
not.
like at this location, I am going to try and roll persuasion to see if I can figure out somewhere that might. Black market, back alley.
Okay. Roll a
The
persuasion.
history check was a 26.
Nice. That's good. What'd you get, Phil?
Let me do that math there real quick. Oh wait, that's a 32.
Guy goes, "You look like a schmuck, but look like a schmuck in trust." And he tells you this like secret place where you're able to find some enchanted. We'll just call it +1 studded leather armor.
Okay. Cool.
And
I say,
it's kind of
thanks, man.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go to that place.
You got it. Just remember us little people when you're doing great things. And he snaps you on the shoulder.
He immediately sees that I'm disguising myself.
Okay. Moving past this, Corvus, you've kind of spent this hour a little bit creating your familiar. Beautiful plumed hawk comes to the window of the inn and just
Corvus?
kind of greets you.
Alex, that was doing the familiar thing, I thought.
Yeah, that was me.
Qiao, yeah. And does everybody kind of settle down for the night? Oh, dang it, my internet connection is so bad. There we go. Gosh, I'm so sorry, guys.
Okay.
Okay. I'm worried I missed a really fun joke.
Not too much.
Okay.
Every time you freeze, we copy the pose that you're doing.
Dang. So Lyre, you see an hour, 30 minutes to an hour before Johan comes home. Karina walks into the tavern and she is mad. She is extremely angry. And you can tell that immediately. She is extremely angry at something or someone. The night kind of winds down. Everybody, say that again.
I tell the bartender for 2 drinks, and I'm gonna sit down and chat with Karina.
Mr. Swamp, of course, here you are. That's on the house, madam. You've made 15 gold.
How much?
You've made 15 gold.
Damn.
She takes the ale, drinks it a little faster than you think she would normally.
Girl, you okay?
No, my husband's an asshole. And I love him, and he's sweet, but, like, he doesn't trust me or believe me or think I'm competent. And I've killed a man. I killed a man this morning. Easily. Quickly.
Well, some guys are just douchebags.
But he did save the world. Does that not count for anything?
Who cares about saving the world? He has to save your heart.
That is a very sweet platitude, but I am the queen, as it were, now, and I just think he thinks he's so smart. And
well, the world thinks he's dead, so you don't have to be married to him.
I mean, possibly. She kind of goes, I'm not ready to make any rash decisions. We've just met up again today, and it's been a crazy, insane day. But I'm kind of on your side. I think you're right. I think he's a little less perfect than I imagined.
The onus of this whole scenario is on him. So he needs to get back into your trust. You're allowed to not trust him. So don't go to bed with him. Take your own room. Make him have to do all the work.
Well, of course I was going to, yeah, well, I mean, she kind of blushes at that. She's like, that is, Atria comes up and goes, just like, screw him. I say the opposite. Like, if you got a man that you can grab onto that's like, and okay, and, and you're feeling like, she's very deep down a bottle right now. Anything else you'd like to say here, Lyre?
No.
Okay. I'm going to say everybody goes to sleep. Everybody eventually finds their way to bed, whether it be, midnight to 1 a.m. What's up, Phil?
I would like to finish up trying to get that studded leather armor real quick, because I am not going to pay for that. And I walk in.
Having the crooked nose, he's like,
good sir, I hear tell that you have some enchanted studded leather armor that you might be willing to part with.
Who tell you that? I'll gut them. I'll tell them they are a piece of garbage. But yes, I do. How much would you like? What would you like?
I would only like some studded leather armor that's maybe +1 or +2, a slightly stronger enchantment than what you might normally find on your average person, if you have one available. A man of my stature doesn't take shit.
I've got to follow the gag. He pulls out this studded leather armor. He goes, yes, but don't tell you I didn't warn you. Pirates are gross. And it is just like a big dick. It's just like a big spray painted looking like dick. That's like the enchantment that gives it the +1 just on the back of it. He goes, it will keep you safer than normal stuff, that is for sure. Nobody wants to even look at you.
Now, something else I wanted to ask. This place is littered with antiquities. Might you have anything made out of some of those?
I'm going to say, well, yes, of course I do, but I don't give to staunchy aristocrat who comes around thinking, I think I should have you killed and have you robbed on the way out of my store. How do you think of that?
Oh, I think you would have quite an issue doing that, per se, as it were. My people are quite powerful and have quite an extensive...
This is the most posturing.
All right, sir. How about this? How about this? You show me money, I will give you this, and I will show you anything special, anything interesting I found. How about that?
I agree. And I'm going to quickly check and see what it's trying to run. Cool. Yep. I show him how much money I have. All of it. Just as a...
All right.
Yeah.
Now we have conversation to have. What sort of magical thing? He opens up his back door that's kind of like goes into the alleyway. He goes, what sort of thing do you want? Magical enchantment, wild weapon? What do you think?
Weapons aren't really my thing. I've got one I'm quite fond of, but armor is more my style. I'm looking for something that can keep me a little bit more protected than your penis armor out there.
Penis armor is very good. I know it's crass, but it's pretty good. So we're going to...
myself, but
I'd rather not be wearing something people normally gag on, if you catch my drift.
That is super gross, but very funny. I do like that joke. So, I do have a something that you may like. It is probably my only not covered in genitalia armor. He walks over to a sash and takes a red sash off the wall. I can give you this. This will guard you from spells. I don't know exactly how it works, but it will guard you from spells. And I have known it to save many a pirate's life when attacked by, royal magicians or other traders.
Royal magicians are pushovers, if you ask me, but I'll take it. Also,
Right.
What other
Yes.
artifacts have you been finding here recently? I understand that there's been quite a lot of strange things being dug up from the sea.
Well, yes. How about this? You come back tomorrow, we'll have conversation. It's getting late, I want to go to sleep. You give me 700 gold for this sash. I let you walk out of here, don't send anyone to rob you. Come back tomorrow, and I will tell you about what I found and where to find it. But I don't like this. You're the kind of rich who disappears.
I understand your hesitation in the matter. I'll give you the 700 for the sash and the armor. Or rather, I'll have my people get in touch with you. And I'm going to roll persuasion for that.
So you're gonna give him the 700?
700 for the armor and the sash.
Okay, yeah, roll me a persuasion.
Yeah. That'll be a natural 20 plus, I believe it's 13. So
You squint really
33.
tight. Yeah, I will say yes, but only because penis armor is surprisingly difficult to sell. So 700 sash and the armor. Come back later tomorrow, probably around noon, and we will have a longer discussion about what trinkets I found. They're good men to sell to me. So you give him the gold?
I give him the gold, I take the stuff, and I leave.
Okay. So you can do a detect magic on that sash once we get around to it, but for now, let's all go to bed. Who's all going to bed now? Probably around midnight to 1 a.m. Sir Emory? Okay, perfect. Anything anybody else wants to do here?
I only need half the sleep of everybody else, so I want to use, because of that interaction with somebody trying to contact the depths, I want to spend the 4 hours I'm not sleeping, sitting and trying to feel out the magical feeling of the world.
For sure.
Around.
So roll me a stealth check, Corvus, to try and get out. We're going to roll this against everyone's passive perceptions.
Oh, passive.
Maybe Alex will have you roll.
What about my...
What?
What about my familiar?
Well, and like, to be fair, I would definitely be leaving when Qiao is for sure out.
Okay. So yeah, roll a perception. You have not heard anything from your familiar. Your familiar seems to be flying, hasn't reported anything. You'll go into his eyes to see what's on the horizon. No ships seem to be coming. You do see the red ship that Umi took over to Old Wessex approaching. It'll probably come in, like it's on the horizon. It probably won't be in for another couple, like by the end of tomorrow, basically.
My roll was a dirty 20.
Wow. Okay. That doesn't. Nobody beats with their passive perception use. So you're able to sneak out after everybody's gone to sleep.
If you hadn't had that dirty 20, though, I would have come.
Screwed, yeah. But yeah, he is honestly going to wander around pretty much aimlessly for about an hour. Because if what he is hoping happens, then he will be approached, and there will be no way of him like finding whoever it is he's looking for. And if nothing happens within the hour, he's going to go back.
Roll me a perception check.
That's pretty good. That's a 21.
Someone's following you. It doesn't seem to be violent. Doesn't seem to be anything like that. But it kind of hits this moment where you're standing at the edge of a pier, and you know that they're standing at the top of the pier and waiting for you to turn around. He says, "Corvus, wild day it's been, hasn't it?"
I turn around.
It's a Lauren. That's what you know a Lauren to be, the last form she took.
Yep, I figure. I guess that's one way to put it.
I was tailing you because that's what I do. I make sure that our operatives are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then all hell broke loose. And now Gadrus is even more bent on the order coming together. And here you are, ignoring a direct order from Gadrus.
I never said I was rejoining.
Alarin is extremely angry. You know, it took a lot of effort to make sure those snipers didn't target you. It took a lot of effort to call in a lot of favors with the Old Wessex forces. If you're no longer wish to be part of the order, you can be removed. We can deal without you.
I understand that, and I know that you will do whatever you will do. And I assure you that...
Corvus, we've worked together for years. We've killed cultists together for years. We have trusted each other through the depths. What's so special about this Qiao? What's so special about this little padre of people?
Has
You're going to
nothing
throw
to do
away
with
everything.
him. Has everything to do with him.
Gadrus.
He lied from the beginning about everything. Maybe
No
he
one
was misled,
knew,
but I don't believe that.
no one knew what Pith was until recently, until the past 4 years, until now. And even now, we don't have a clear picture.
Tell
And
that to the people
we haven't done our...
killed. People I believe Gadrus was part of. I believe everything still, but I will not follow him until I find some good reason to do so. And in all honesty, as of right now, I also have no reason to kill these people or to try to. And from what I've seen, they're capable enough to probably do me in as well. So your whole little suicide mission doesn't seem very smart to me. Yes. Be as pissed off as you want.
No. You're right. You're right. And I think I'm just very used to being the biggest fish in the pond.
Why do we even want them?
I believe... What?
You know what? No, continue. Say what you were going to.
I believe the Pith we know, the mother of the sea, she who supports the sea, is still there. And I think this is part of her test to prove that her followers are true. And if we follow, we will be given strength, just like those who she has deemed to be her children.
I want to believe. I don't know if I can anymore.
Corvus, I'm amending your duty for now. I want you to continue following and being allied with these people. Support them, help them, do whatever it takes to reflect the will of Pith in this group of people who's clearly more powerful than we bargained for. If we come and it has been deemed by Gadris and the Order that they should be destroyed, whether because of Old Wessex orders or because of any reason, and you are in a position where your alliance will be the difference between destroying Johan, destroying Qiao, destroying all of these high-profile people you've accumulated around you. When that becomes an option, if you do not turn on them and ally yourself with the Order, you may as well remove your mask.
I'll stay with them, but not because you
I'm not asking you to do that now. Say that again.
I'll stay with them, but not because you asked it. I am not, nor have I ever really been at your beck and call, woman.
When we attack, remember, we will not strike until you do. She starts to back off from the pier. I will be watching, I will be following, and I wish things were simpler, Corvus. I enjoyed being your friend.
And I yours.
She walks off.
Gonna jump off the pier, swim down, about... How far down would he have to go to be reasonably deep enough that there's not going to be anyone that can see him, but far enough down that but not so far, like someplace that he could arguably kind of rest, maybe take a seat if possible?
Not very far. That's easy to do.
Okay. However far down, make sure that no one else is around, and he will basically just kind of sit there, remove his mask, and just look out into the open waters, and probably after another 30 minutes of doing that, he will go back, put his mask on before he moves, of course, but go back.
Okay.
Less sneakily. He doesn't care if people know that he returns as much, although he probably should, but right now he doesn't.
Okay, sounds good. Everybody falls asleep. You can roll me another stealth check. You just have to get higher than, I think, like a 16, and no one will detect you.
I rolled a 17.
No. I have a passive of 18.
What'd you get?
I rolled a 17 on the dice.
Whoa.
I have a passive.
See, he got a 21. He managed to sneak in. He got a 21 to your 18. Okay. Everyone falls asleep. Lyre and Johan have a dream. This is what I'm going to tell you before I have you roll for anything. It feels as if you are at a family reunion. Regardless of where you're from, it's kind of your own respective home. So for Lyre, this might be like an alleyway near your home where all the, ragamuffins and the thieves would meet up and eat together or, kind of shoot the breeze. For Johan, this is like an awkward, stuffy, royal event. But there are tons of people you recognize, people you know, people you've got connections to. It's this huge family. And you get the feeling that you're waiting for someone to arrive at this party. I want you both to roll insight checks. You can just do this flat.
21.
21.
14.
14. Okay, we'll start with Phil, and then we'll go over to Lyre. With the 14, Phil, you feel this dark, not malevolent presence. It feels like some strange oblong shape that's kind of like a strange smoky mask. And it just seems to be hanging out at the party and participating, but no one else seems to register. It's kind of like a sleep paralysis demon. Like, you know it's there, but you can't point out that it's there. You spend most of the party with that. And with the 14, I'll say, you know that a lot of these people are dead. A lot of these people that are at the party with you are not alive in the literal sense. These are spirits or people that are passed on. But some of them are alive. There's kind of a mishmash of people who are alive and dead. Lyre, with the 21, you recognize a lot of people who are alive and dead and people that you know. With the 21, I'm going to say you're able to remember a lot of this very clearly when you wake up as well. You see Umi, the woman that you talked to before going on this trip out here, you know, that was the captain of that ship, the one with the red ship. You know she is dead as you look at her. And you see a lot of people talking to each other about it, and it's kind of like hushed tones. It's kind of like a family reunion where everyone's enjoying the company, but everybody's got beef too, and they're keeping quiet about it. You see a kind of albino-looking child with like black hair and black eyes and a very deformed head. It looks like his head is just like weird shapes and everything, and like his teeth and his jaw don't line up quite right. And he's hanging at the party and talking to everybody. And he's just, you guys should make lots of friends. You guys should make lots of friends, and maybe you'll fall in love, but then kill them. And that's what Mom wants. So we'll do that. And it'll be really good for you and for Mom. So do that. And she's just kind of walking around home, talking to people in that way. He notices you looking at him. Goes, hey, lady.
Hi.
Can you see me?
Am I not supposed to?
You can see me. No, you can see me. That's totally okay. Hi. Mom told me to tell you this. Okay. Oh, I'm so nervous. I've just been talking to people the whole time, but now you're like actually here. She wants you to go and pull her out of the ground because we're in a big hole, and she said that if you pull us out of the ground, I get to, be on Earth and stuff. And so, can you do that?
We'll see. I'm just a bard, though.
It's okay. Mom will make you stronger. That's why she wants you to kill people. Because if you kill people, you get stronger.
But what if I don't like killing people? What if that makes me sad?
Oh. No, she didn't prepare me for that. She just said that it would be in your best interest. Sorry, I'm really new at this.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Okay. Do you know if a guy named Johan is supposed to be up here? Is he hanging out up here?
Do I see Johan here?
Yeah, you can see and recognize him.
Okay.
I'm nervous. I don't want to say hello. Mommy said that my point is, or one of my job is to make sure he's safe and that he's okay. So I just wanted to know he's there and that he's okay.
I think I've met him. So he's all right for right now. But I don't know if he's here right now either.
Oh, okay. Daddy, I remember Daddy talking about Johan a little bit too, but he hasn't said anything for a long time. What?
Who's mommy and daddy?
So mommy's this big, beautiful woman, and daddy, daddy used to be like a whole person, and like he had like arms and legs and everything, and now he's just kind of like pieces of skin and stuff. But he's really good for drawing on.
Okay. Well, it was nice meeting you.
It's nice meeting you too.
What's your name?
Oh wow. Name?
Yeah, what's your name? What do people call you?
I don't have a name. Do most people have a name? I thought Johan had a name because he was special.
Well, I have a
Do
name.
you have a name too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how
I'm
about
gonna talk to mommy about this.
you tell me your name the next time we meet up? And if you haven't figured it out yet, we'll come up with one together.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, bye.
Bye.
He kind of nervously walks. Oh, I forgot. He walks up and goes, kill people who have black marks on them, and then make friends with them, get really close friends with them. And he just starts. It's hard to call it as he because it's kind of like a genderless being, but he looks like he's super white and squalid, and he's just very openly talking about everything. Is there anything you'd like to do before kind of this dream ends? Because you get to be like conscious for it.
I guess I'll just kind of wander around, do I know who's living and who's dead? Can I like tell? Or is it like?
With a 21, I'll say you can. You see Karina here. You see masses of people you don't recognize at all. You see your siblings here.
My siblings?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can know who's dead and alive right now.
Are any of my siblings dead? They're all dead.
I just rolled for it. Yes,
them.
a good half of your siblings seem to have died.
Okay.
They seem a little confused and like lost in this malaise. But actually, I'm gonna roll for them for a second. Yeah, none of them seem to be like super conscious of what's going on around them, but a handful of them have died.
Okay. I'm going to go up to the dead ones, tell them to go find mom. Wait, is my mom here?
Yeah, she is.
Okay. I'm going to round them all up together, make sure they don't stray from each other. I'm like, stay together, guys. Then I'm going to go talk to my alive siblings and ask if, like, can I talk to them? Or is it like a...
They seem really confused. They're kind of like, yeah, well, I don't feel like I can leave. I feel like I don't know if I'm allowed to leave.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't talking to you. Ryan just screamed a little bit, so.
Okay. You okay?
Yeah, he just lightly burned himself on my chicken and dumplings that I left him to finish cooking.
Okay. Most of them are kind of like, no, it's okay. It seems like it's okay. We're waiting for someone. Someone's coming. You see your father here as well. I'm gonna roll for him. He's also in a daze. He seems very confused.
Okay, I'm gonna.
But he's there. You see a handful of other tabaxis as well.
I'm like, who is getting around? Like, out of game, like, who is getting around? Jesus.
People sleep with other people.
Yeah, you're the only one who's rolled for sex in this game so far, Phil. All the rest of us
Okay.
urgent.
I'm going to say this dream ends, and everybody starts to wake up in the morning. You're the only one who has a perfect memory of this. Johan, you have a vague memory of like a family reunion. And Karina kind of wakes up and kind of says the same thing. I feel like I was in just like a family meeting. She's not sleeping in the same room with you. This is in the next morning.
Yeah. I kind of get that feeling too. Give me a minute. And I'm going to go back to my room.
You okay? Jesus, baby.
And I'm going to close the door.
Ryan!
What?
I'm on camera.
We didn't hear it.
You just made a loud singing noise.
Sorry, you're going to go back?
Okay. Yeah, I go back to my room. I close the door. I'm going to put my hands on the different eldritch runes that are there. And I'm going to cast a spell into them. I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast into the wall, not the wall, but like into the thing to see if I can use the energy to activate the runes.
Okay, you shoot an Eldritch Blast at the wood. It breaks part of the doorway off, and you've damaged some of the area. The runes don't seem to have reacted at all.
I found it like that. Okay, and I leave. And I go back to Karina.
I say that sounds like breaking runes.
What are you talking about? No, nothing.
See the tingle going up his spine.
And I go back to Karina, and I say, "All right, you want in?"
Yes, I'm in. I am about as in as she pulls up her hand. I'm extremely in. Yes, I am
Keep
in.
that hidden. Keeping mine hidden. Keep that hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Look, everyone in every royal person knows that you have this. We don't want any non-royal person knowing that you have this too. Trust me, it's the non-royals you need to look out for.
All right. She puts on some dainty gloves. Yes, I am in it.
Good. How interested are you in ancient antiquities?
As much as the next person. Sir Emory, roll me a with advantage perception check.
Oh, absolutely.
Dang it. I need to start rolling stealth to be quiet about all this stuff.
We can't hear you. Oh, he's pulling it up.
That is a 17.
You clearly hear him say ancient antiquities across the table as you're walking out of
My
your room.
good sir, as I was walking out of my room, I heard you say ancient antiquities.
Oh, Sir Emory!
I may have found someone who has some interesting ones. By the way, you're magical. Do you know anybody that can fix some graffiti?
Perhaps. What kind of graffiti are you looking for? I can prestidigitation both things right off.
Was the penis like painted on, or was it like etched in?
Let me take a look at it for you.
I'm gonna say it was painted on. Addison, roll me an Arcana check on this.
I really want this to be
I'm
like
pretty sure I already know.
intrinsically it has to be a penis to work. I really want that to be the case. Like, it's something about the shape.
A 22. Is this the glyphic rune?
This is some perverted pirate magic. This is how the magic works. Like the same way with your sword. Like if you take away the swears, there's no magic. You take away the dick, there's no magic. It's just this is how pirate magic be.
Johan, I'm sorry, but this is pirate magic. If we take away the penis, there's nothing. Much like what many things with pirates, if you take away the penis, there's nothing. There's nothing left.
I want to know how it was at breakfast, by the way.
How what?
How loud that was at breakfast.
Oh.
If that.
If Sir Emory was present, it was very loud.
Got it. Magic doesn't work without the penis. Everyone in the tavern knows it.
I'm going to approach if I could hear that, and I'm going to say, wait, I also want to take a look at this, and I want to examine the rune.
Okay, you can check it out.
I don't care about Arcana. I just want to be the
Oh yeah,
at it.
it's just a crudely. It looks as if it's just been like sloppily painted on by some crazed pirate warlock, crazed pirate wizard.
I'm going to turn to Sir Emory and I'm going to say, are they normally penis shaped?
With pirates, those things are. Take a look at this sword, and I'll take out the sword, and I'll say, "Do you notice? Take a look at the lines here separating the various runes. See there? That's a penis."
Atria walks out of her room and goes, "We talking about magic this early?" Hey, she's super groggy and like.
I usually am.
I look to the two wizards and I say, well, something else. Can either of you use magic to identify the spell on something or enchantment?
All day, every day.
And I'm going to produce that sash.
I will
Okay.
ritual cast identify.
It fails.
Pardon me.
It's some divination magic. For some
I do it
reason,
again.
while you're standing, what?
I do it again.
It fails. And in a very strange way, it feels like your magic is specifically, for some reason, divination magic is refusing to work. Just while you're sitting at the table.
How interesting. And can I do an Arcana check?
Yeah, for sure. Do an Arcana check. What's going on?
Okay, that's not that great. That's going to be a 17.
The potato ant.
So yeah, with a 17, you can tell this is like an anti-magic field, but it's not. You can't find a source of it. Nobody is like casting an anti-magic field on you, and you're already casting other magic. Like you've cast like little cantrips all over the place. For some reason, it seems to have only been that divination magic Sir Emory used.
It seems to be blocking the divination magic, some kind of anti-magic field. May I look at that for a moment?
Sure. Just know I paid good money for it, so don't break it.
I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it on. Wait, no, I'm not.
No, you're good.
No, I think better of it.
It's not like me.
No, I'm like literally in the motion. I'm in the motion of putting it on, and then I realize how stupid that is with an unknown magical item. And I'm going to say, if I were professionally advising you on this item, I know if I personally use it, and I give it back to you, and I say, because I don't know what it does.
So Alex, I'm going to tell you while holding it, you can tell that whatever anti-magic field that's going on right now, it is not exclusive to the sash. It is not from the sash that you're holding.
I say, I'm going to hand Sir Emory my, I can't give him that though. Actually, I'm going to turn and I'm going to really quickly, trying to catch her off guard. I'm going to say, Lyre, hand me my father's instrument.
Roll me a reflex slave, Lyre.
You're muted, Addie.
You're muted. I can't hear you.
Addie, you're muted.
I know. I heard you.
You're muted.
I was
Okay.
tabbed over to D&D Beyond.
Oh, okay.
I'm just eating breakfast over here and like. Okay, where's reflex at? Am I crazy?
You mean
So
dexterity,
it'll be
right?
a dexterity save.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That will be a 23.
Okay. She steals herself. She says, "Hey, my father's Lyre," and she doesn't react.
I
Not
heard.
initially. You can do what you want now, but you don't accidentally react.
I'm going to turn to Sir Emory and I'm going to say, here, and I'm going to hand him the sash and I'm going to say, I don't think that your divination magic, you're muted. You're still muted somehow.
Yeah, you're still muted. I think your thing.
I am not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
I hand it back to Johan and I say, I think perhaps it was the divination magic that failed, not on everything. Do you have something else you can try to identify?
I will identify the sword I got, the +1 sword.
It fails.
Let me identify my gauntlets of ogre strength.
It fails.
I trust it again.
I raise my hand.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Try this. I will leave the room. I will leave the building. Try identifying it, and I'll be back in about 3 minutes. Thinking that my amulet might be the thing that is keeping it from happening.
That is what you believe is happening right now.
Okay,
you walk out of the building, immediately all of your identifying works.
Good.
That's far more...
As he's coming back in, as he's 10, 15 feet away from the table, I say, well, now I trust that man even less.
I'm going to say, that's far more interesting, most likely, than whatever's up with the sash. What is up with the sash, by the way?
What's the sash do?
It just gives you advantage on dexterity saves from spells.
Does it have a name in D&D Beyond?
I've just opened it up, so I'll have to make it up for you. But it's just a red sash. It gives you advantage on dexterity saves for spell effects.
Okay. I take the sash and I put it on. And I'm then going to say, well, let me help you regain some of that trust. And for you too, Karina. And I'm going to take out the amulet and I'm going to show it to him while still wearing it. And I'm going to say, this is how I've not been found for the past 4 years, and how I will continue to not be found until the end of time. And I'm going to put it back in my...
I'm going to say, before you put it away, Sir Emory, you see some golden lettering on the back of this amulet that you recognize immediately as Arellan text.
Ooh. I say, sir, might I have a look at the amulet there?
No.
Pardon me.
Honey, he's a scientist. Come on, this will be beneficial for everyone.
Don't care, he might break it.
Huh.
Just let him read the back.
No.
Oh no, it's just fine. There are plenty more priceless relic runes to be found all over this world. It's not like I need to see those in particular runes and that they might have some bearing of importance on what we're doing.
Yeah, you're right. They
Reno
probably
says,
don't.
"You're being rude, Johan. Let him read the thing."
No.
That's fine. I trusted him a little bit more once he revealed the source of that
You
divination
know, Johan,
magic.
I don't know if I. Johan, I don't know if I want to go see some relics with you today. I think that sounds like a pretty unpleasant experience.
While they're arguing, I'm gonna walk up. I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna walk up to Corvus and I'm gonna say, Corvus, I think I need to speak with you about something. Privately. And I'm gonna walk off with Corvus, if he will follow me.
Yeah.
To her remark about, I don't know if I want to go look at relics with you today, I'm just going to say, fine. You don't have to. I just invited you because I thought it'd be fun. But if you want to sit here and wallow, that's fine too. I'll take Sir Emory.
I'll join you.
He seems much more interested in the idea.
Sir Emory,
It sounds like a grand old time.
fine. Go, have fun. See what I care. I'm going to spend the day with Lyre.
I thank you for your well wishes.
Yeah, sure. We can spend the day together.
I love the idea of like the picture of Lyre in like comfy jammies, just like calmly eating cereal or like oatmeal in the corner. She's like, yeah, sure, what? Yeah, okay.
I'm like,
Okay, over to Qiao and Corvus.
This man, this Johan, I need to tell you some things about him that I know. Okay, point of order for the world. How hush-hush, like, how state secrets is what actually happened at the wedding? Is it you never speak of that?
It's not you never speak of it. Now that Pitt's gone, it kind of doesn't matter.
Okay.
Really, the only thing that matters in the view of the people is like the peace, and that's been pretty stably established. And now the only thing challenging the peace between Shigua and Old Wessex is this giant landmass that neither of them can really control. So like you probably just wouldn't be believed, frankly, by most people if you were just like,
Okay.
it just sounds like sounds like a conspiracy theory.
I'm going to say these seem like trustworthy people, but you're the only one here that I know I can trust implicitly. So I'm going to tell you what I know about this man, and I'm going to proceed to explain my perception of the wedding. And then I'm also going to explain the fact that he took part in that ritual that I am aware of involving Pith. And I'm going to say, I'm telling you this because I do not know the intentions of this man. I know he is important, but I know nothing of what he wants. And his attempt to hide himself from us worries me. I did not sense him before he was revealed. So that's concerning. And I wanted you to know what we might be facing before it comes up that we have to face it.
So, do you believe that this man is still connected and or practicing some kind of, connection or worship of Pith?
I know nothing of this man. I don't know. I didn't know his name. Well, I guess I did technically, but I didn't know who he was until a couple of days ago. I can't say his intentions. But I feel because of your profession, I thought you would like to know what we may be facing. because with
Understandable.
pith, you can never be too careful. So
That's understandable.
wanted to let you know.
Your hawk hasn't discovered anything up on the horizon. It doesn't seem to be that people from the Old Wessex have come. The red ship, Umi's ship, is now docked in Old Point Wreck.
Okay, I'm going to go back out into the common room, and I'm going to say, good news, everyone. It seems as though Umi's arrived. Her ship is docked in the harbor, and I mean, I know that it's not strictly necessary that we link back up with them, but they are there if we wanted to get in contact. You're muted.
No
Again.
need.
Well, I think we can spend a few minutes of searching for historical artifacts or whatever you have planned there, Johan. Why don't we go say hello to Umi Greenwater?
Sure.
Sure.
Raina goes, yes, I think I'd love to see Umi. That would be wonderful.
And this is also the ship with that very important woman on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was her name again? I have notes, but they are buried in other notes.
Evelyn Saren.
Evelyn, how do I spell the last name?
Sairen.
And
What
remind
is
me
it, Corvus?
Nothing.
Remind me again. She's from a very important family, right?
Yes, so she's one of the only families wealthy enough to potentially take the place of Orelin, the family that's been disgraced, the last member of which died.
Okay. All right, good. Keeping that in mind, going to see Umi.
Okay, you go up to this ship. Everybody is just approaching it. Everybody gets this for free. You smell rotting bodies. It's only been a day, so it's not like rancid, like horrible, awful smell, but you smell the musty scent of cold, dead bodies.
Wonder why they didn't throw them overboard.
You see some of the dockhands like kind of confused. It's still early morning, and they're like, they just came in last night and paid and left.
Who paid?
This redheaded woman. She had an orc woman with her, and they paid a quick couple coin and then ran off.
They didn't leave a name.
E. They just said E.
Evelyn.
I was thinking the same thing.
That Evelyn Saren.
I'm going to turn. Yes, I saw her on the ship when we left. I thought.
Do you know?
I'd love to marry into one of the richest families in Wessex.
What is happening?
Atria goes, oh, so he chases money.
I'm gonna turn to the ship and I'm gonna look at Sir Emory and I'm going to say, you might not be married long.
We don't want to go on that ship if she is there.
I turn to Atreya and say, Sir Emory has chased money his entire life, and look where he is now.
She's like, yeah, I guess that's right.
I'm going to stop ignoring Johan, and I'm going to say, what makes you say that?
No reason in particular.
Seems very confident.
Yeah, I've heard she's done some bad stuff.
Karina goes, I remember Evelyn. She was lovely. She very smart, rebellious woman in the court. She was great.
Yeah, a lot can change in 4 years.
When did you meet her? How did you meet? She's been in Old Wessex for years. I mean, we knew her from the courts, but she was fine then. When did you meet her over the past 4 years?
In passing.
I think he has actually met her, or is he just saying stuff?
You remember the redhead from the beginning of the story?
He's actually met her.
He's had
Intimately.
sex with her.
Oh, okay.
So she doesn't see much further into that. But you guys are standing on the deck of the ship. The kind of deckhands are kind of like, it's pretty clear something's gone wrong. Like they're looking, you can see like signs of struggle here or there, like blood splatters here or there. Doesn't look great.
Well,
You should summon the guard.
You should burn the ship.
You should let us go take a look at it.
No, just burn the ship. Sink
We
it.
need to see if there's
Burn that
anyone
ship.
can be
ships are
held
expensive.
in any
We should
way.
keep this.
And then he walks up onto the ship to look
I-
for one who is clinging to life.
You idiot! No, we sink it. We drop it down. Water.
I join
It
him.
is too late.
We're calling the guard. We're calling the guard.
I race the guards to the ship.
The guards are still coming into the port. They're not even nearby. Corvus, you walk on. There's heads bashed against walls, huge bloody messes, and this all looks like nobles. This all looks like Shiguan emissaries and nobles that are very well dressed and like
Ooh.
look like they're very wealthy. But you see a lot of marks of black on them. You see a lot of people who were warlocks. And it's just a bloodbath. I mean, what do you explore?
I'm gonna look everywhere. If there is anyone that is possibly alive in any way, shape, or form, we'll see if there is that in the.
Roll me an investigation check.
Whoever survives
May I
this
assist him?
is very scary.
Okay, well that's
Okay, everybody roll investigation checks. Lyre, what?
Whoever escapes this is very scary.
okay. So, right.
She's
Well,
right.
with
Oh,
the
no.
assistance, we have a go, and that is a 21.
Got a 22.
21.
If I was rolling separately, it was a 26. If not, we can take his 21.
Wow. Okay. Phil, are you staying fully off the ship? Oh, dang it. Gah. There we
I
go.
fall in
Gosh.
and out of it every once in a while. Yeah, it's hard to do it real consistently. I fall in and out of it.
Sorry, I'm back now, guys. What were you talking about?
Welcome.
What?
Talking about your accent? You falling in and out of your accent?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. He's using it for a couple of NPCs in his other games. So
Well, I haven't used
Yeah.
it, but I'm trying to nail it down.
Hmm.
It's not working yet.
Anyway, so I'm slowly walking towards the ship. I'm not being very fast about it at all.
Okay, so I'm going to give people, like I talked, information in waves. So we're going to say the lowest was Corvus with a 21, which is still wildly good. You see signs of Eldritch Blasts and like kind of weirdly increasingly powerful warlock magic. It kind of looks like it started off with a skirmish of Eldritch Blasts, and then some more, and then a higher level spell, and then some sort of explosive spell. Like it seems like it kind of steadily got worse and worse. And you see that it kind of looks like it started where everybody was fighting, and it ended with just a handful of people fighting. Like this was like a full day skirmish. Probably the entire time you guys were on your ships, it was a all-out like bloodbath on the ship. With a
Can we
22. Mhm. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
With a 22 Lyre, you see that virtually everyone on this ship had those black marks. Like this ship probably had about like 35, 40 people on it, and at least 30 of them had those black marks on them. And the ones who weren't looked like they were trying to flee, but didn't get off. And it's probably a pretty safe bet that some of them tried to flee the boat and jump off, and might be in Old Wessex right now and still be alive. Emory with a 26, you find Umi Greenwater's body drowned in a tub, and it looks like she's the first person who was killed.
Do I recognize her?
Yeah, you'd know her from...
Do I know her?
Yeah, you'd know her from emissary trips, and you'd know her as a very kind, bubbly, nice person. And yeah, it looks like she was mid-bathing when this happened, or when she was attacked at least, and she didn't even have a chance to fight back. Looks like she died pretty quickly.
Emory's going to remove his helmet and say, bad time. Looking at all these markings, the levels of is there a way to determine the highest level of spells that were cast? What level was achieved here?
Yeah, after these people, it's kind of like with Lucian, the marks start to fade after they die. But you can see kind of like scars kind of from these marks appearing on them.
Sorry, I meant looking at the spell effects. Like if there was like a 9th level fireball cast, like can I look at the effects of the spells and see what spells were cast? See if they're like
I'm gonna say it's questionable what detect magic you can do with Johan being near, but he's on the pier, so that's probably a ways off. I kind of need to do a little bit of research for that. I'm going to say most of these are cantrips and like level 2 or 3 spells, but you see at least 3 like level 5 spells going off.
We can handle that. I'll go back to the group and say, I assume we're kind of spread out through different rooms of the ship, and say, if we were looking for Ms. Greenwater, I found her, but she's, well, dead. Deceased, passed on.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else we want to do here. I suggest we may consider leaving. There were some rather powerful spells cast here. Nothing that we couldn't deal with, but it may prove a challenge.
Well, haven't found anyone on this ship yet, so might as well get off the dang thing. Thing's a freaking graveyard.
Agreed.
I'm gonna tell my familiar to. Is red hair common?
No, it's extremely rare.
I'm going to tell my familiar to fly around and find people with red hair and to tell me where they are.
Roll me an investigation check for him.
Find people with red hair and just shit on them.
That's pretty good. But because my phone's being so slow, it's hard to know how good. Sorry. One sec. That is a 22.
Okay, so with a 22, it flies around. You can tell it's getting a very, very clear look at the surrounding area. It does not find any redheads. The guards say they came in last night, probably early in the morning, maybe 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
How about orcs? Are orcs common?
Orcs are also extremely rare.
Also tell it to look for orcs. Since that's also pretty defining.
It sees some half orcs, and but there's only like 1 or 2. Both of them are men. None of them are women like they described, like the guards described.
Okay. I would just say that the familiar doesn't see her anywhere around here.
Oh, I'm not
good.
surprised. There's a good chance she's changed the way she looks. You've
I
seen the way
know.
Johan there handles himself.
Yes. Especially if she too has become a warlock, that would give her possibly more options. This isn't good. We can't have this kind of political issue at this time, I don't think. We'll have to find her if we can.
Were you saying that exclusively to him?
No, just in general. Just as a
Or
general statement.
Or we could stay as far away from her as possible and just not deal with it. Let it sort itself out.
Murdering people?
Do you think... Wait. She came off that ship, right? She came off that ship, which means she, and only her, and perhaps her retainer, came out on top of that melee. If that's the case, then not only does she have more power, she must know how she got it. And the only place here that I know of that has a large number of people to be killed is that hospital that is around here, right?
Yeah.
Killing and power do not relate to knowledge of how one obtains.
No, you're wrong.
It seems... wait, okay, point of order. I thought that would be something I would know. Would I know that they get more powerful when they kill each other?
It would be a pretty good guess. I mean, you might not have known, but Karina would have been talking about how she felt stronger after she killed Lucian.
Yes, I feel as though either she won't be anywhere near there, or that will be the place to slaughter many people to become more powerful. Or not, I don't know, but I don't have any other ideas.
So, Lyre, when you hear that Umi is dead, it isn't a surprise to you. You knew that she was dead in your dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you told anyone else about your dream, or have you kept very private about that?
I've kept kind of private about it.
Okay.
I made a little offhand joke to Karina earlier that I had a dream about her.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to be done here. The guards come and kind of try and make some sense of what happened. They think it's just another isolated, crazy incident. With that 26, Emory, I'm going to give you this as well. It looks like most of the people on this ship, some of them had marks on their chest. Most of them had marks near their groin, like in the belly button region, which, has kind of expressed that it's been a sexually transmitted warlock.
Okay. So that's interesting.
But Umi's was right on the chest. Umi's was right in her clavicle area.
Umi's was right on the chest, and hers was on the finger.
Karina goes, I also have one on my chest as well. I didn't want to say that out loud too openly, but I do have one on my chest as well.
I pull my do-rag down a little bit further just to cover more of my forehead.
I'm adjusting the collar of my shirt up a little bit.
And do I know... Has it already been revealed that this is related to Clippy's strict seal,
Yes.
or no? It has,
Yeah.
Okay.
You had that realization, you had that brain blast at the Parliament that was like, oh, this is like that. This is exactly,
So most of these, that would mean that most of these people have had sex with a some descendant of who has been sealed. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is this. Umi Greenwater has one on her chest, and I would assume that probably means she's related to them. And I would also assume that because Karina has one on her finger, and I turn to Johan and I say that she's married to one.
Okay, called out, y'all.
Who was Umi's mother? Who were her parents?
Umi's mother was from Shigua, and she was the Emperor's now wife, but the Emperor's now wife was sleeping with Greenwater. That was how Umi was born. Finnegan Greenwater.
My eyes go wide, and I'm like, good Lord. If everyone Greenwater is sired or slept with is now a warlock, half the world is damned.
Ugh.
I mean, I didn't know that Johan was a Greenwater until just now. I thought that was okay. But I think you're right. Anyone who's a Greenwater is genealogically a warlock now. And anyone who sleeps with one who is genealogically a warlock is also now ipso facto a warlock. I mean, you are the magicians. What?
Johan? Oh, go on.
No, never mind. That doesn't make sense for all of my other siblings and the other tabaxis.
Johan would
How
be
are
like
you
your
related to
half uncle.
My half uncle. So we're half cousins. Cool.
Okay, wait. Tell me how this works again. So it's people that have. What is the relation of the Greenwater we were referring to Johan?
That's my question too. Johan, how are you related to this Greenwater fellow?
Are we
I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Karina goes, I think he's a little proud right now. I don't know if he's willing to share information as much as I'd like. But I agree with your logic. I think it's whoever this Greenwater is somehow related patrilineally to, or matrilineally actually, to this Greenwater man. Which makes sense with this. It makes sense why I have a anyway. Yeah, this kind of information kind of all settles into everybody at the same time. Yeah. You recognize that whoever killed all these people has a lot of warlock levels. Because if it transfers on kill, like Karina mentioned, whoever came out on top of this melee has anywhere from 10 to 15 warlock levels underneath them.
All I can say out of game is that it's a good thing that no one in the Greenwater line slept with Evelyn. It's good that that's the case, because if that had happened, it would be a problem.
Oh, things would be very, very bad.
Yes, that would be unfortunate if that had happened. Very well.
Yeah, so unfortunate. That would be the worst.
Now what?
I start walking away, saying, we have antiquities to go look at.
Do we?
Well, I do. So, Emory, do you want to join me like we had planned?
Oh, absolutely.
I also would like to look at antiquities. They sound old. And it's just gonna...
Sound old. They sound old.
So Karina goes, I've made a point to avoid my husband because he was a jerk earlier today. Would you like to hang out, Lyre, or accompany me alongside?
Sure. I thought we already agreed to do that over breakfast.
Well, do you want to follow them behind and be sarcastic about it, or do you want to go do other things?
Well, being sarcastic about it is one of my favorite things to do to Qiao. It is really fun.
She goes, Are you in Qiao? Are you?
No, but maybe? Question mark?
Wait, what did she say?
I wish I was like you, having more fun with this. What?
Is high school coming back, Alex?
Carry on.
All right. You guys travel to the thing. I'm gonna say so I give you this information without it being weird. You guys pass by kind of this fantasy hospital, this cleric's church area. Doesn't seem to be any more chaotic than yesterday. Nobody was attacked. Nobody was killed. It seems like if they did go anywhere after the ship, it wasn't there.
Good.
You make it to this alleyway.
The
man goes there.
Like the man I was yesterday.
Hey, hello, welcome. Hey, you said you're coming yourself. You're bringing friends now? That wasn't part of the deal.
There was never a deal about how many people I'd bring. I said I would bring my people with me and have them contact you. Rather than have them contact you, I thought I'd just bring them with me. This is,
Good, sir. I've never seen a man upset to see Sir Emory Warren. A merchant upset to see Sir Emory Warren.
And this is Jim.
Oh, goodness, there are more of them.
Tell me about
All
it.
right, well, don't touch anything.
Wait, Corvus, did you come with us, or what did you do?
I would not have left Qiao, so yes.
Okay, you didn't make that clear, so.
I assumed he came with Qiao, too. He's been
I
following.
always assume that Corvus is just auto-follow.
Pretty much.
So he goes, all right, I'm going to call in some of my men just to have some more security, and I'm going to leave you two with some of my fancier things while I tend to the other people.
I'm going to say, friend, trust me now. You don't need to bring anyone in. We won't be any trouble. I promise. You have my word and the word of Sir Emory Warren here.
And any security forces you bring in, we could handily deal with.
I say to the side to Karina, like,
And nothing is going to
comment
happen
anymore.
of any sort that would cause you to be alarmed in any way, and I'm going to roll persuasion to...
I'm going to make an aside to Karina, like, they might not cause any trouble.
You were with... Wait. I thought we were separate.
29.
No, Karina and I are making sarcastic comments at y'all for the rest of the day.
Oh.
We're not interacting with you. We're just taking all of your words out of context to make sarcastic comments at you.
So you have followed and come with us then. You're not going out on your own to have a girls' day.
Well, I don't know.
This is their girls' day.
I didn't make this clear. Are we going out on a girls' day, or are we making sarcastic comments?
That was up to you. Karina left that decision up to you, and it sounds like you said we were being sarcastic, so she came along to heckle.
Yeah, I wanted to follow to Qiao, so I was just like, sarcastic comments all day without acknowledging anyone in the party besides Karina.
She's like, this is so inappropriate and rude, and I kind of love it. Let me see. So the guy, after you explain this to the guy, he kind of has this moment of realization of like, they're right. And whoever I bring in, they're going to be able to kill anyway. He goes, all right, but I will be watching you. I'll be watching you like hawk. And he walks you guys into this back room that is just filled with knickknacks and paraphernalia and tons of stuff. And I want you guys to roll me, we'll say each 3 investigation checks.
As he says, I'm watching you like a hawk, I mishear him, and I say, oh, thank you, and my hawk flies in, and I hand it to him, and I walk into the room with all the magical stuff.
Did you
That's
say
it. It's quite
For me,
beautiful. Yeah, investigation. You can roll me 3 investigation as well, Qiao.
Okay.
3?
For my investigation checks, that will be a 7, a 17, and a 14.
Okay.
I got Well, the first one was a nat 20, which makes it a 23, and then a 15, and then a 7.
Okay.
Um,
You're muted.
so I have a. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Mine would be a 14, 15, 24. Didn't roll too well.
Alex?
17, 12, 24.
Okay. And you and Lyre are chilling out, or Lyre and Karina are chilling outside, slash, just outside the door. Okay.
Making sure no one comes in.
Okay, so as you guys are searching, a lot of this stuff is garbage. A lot of this stuff is weird curios that were either manufactured and aren't very interesting or true. For the 24s between Alex and Corvus,
You mean Sir Emory?
excuse me, that's between, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. We're going to say that Johan and Sir Emory are kind of like at a wash, and they're kind of overwhelmed. And like, Emory, you find a couple things that look like real relics from this place, and you find enough of them that it's kind of like a fossil thing. If you could find where most of these came from, you could probably find a giant Orellan ruin that you hadn't seen before, because this is different styles, different words than you've seen before. And so it's not so much the relics that are interesting as where they got them. And so you might have a conversation with him later. Corvus, you find a book, and it's not like any book you've seen. It seems like it's a bunch of stone tablets all put together, but the stone seems impossibly thin. But it's not metal. It feels as if it's like a firm stone, and the pages fit like perfectly together. And it clearly is of some very intense Orellan something. Like even from a cursory glance, it looks like it's something very important. But no one else has noticed it as of yet. And then I'm going to say, Alex, with that high score, you managed to find language that is actually on a small pouch that is an Orellan language that you can't read, but you recognize it as something foreign and not something you can read. Sounds like something Sir Warren might be able to read.
Sir what? Oh, Sir Warren.
Sir Emory.
I'm going to bring it to Sir Emory and see what he can make of it. What do you make of this?
Okay, so, sir, you look at it, it seems to be like a small pouch that seems to be made out of kind of that same strange stone-like material that's woven together. And on the front of it, it's weird because you've never heard the Orellan language spoken out loud. It doesn't have a spoken form. That form is like died out.
Mhm.
But it seems to say it's a dust of the heart.
Well, the direct translation would be dust of the heart.
Odd. Can I spend, hey, I'm being a terror. My.
And this is not a glyph. This is so these are not pictures. This is a written form of Orellan language, which isn't usually what you use for your magic, but you know how to interpret it.
Okay. Dust of the heart. Is it 10 minutes to cast Identify without,
Ritual cast identifies 10 minutes.
Johan is in the room, so it'll fail as of right now, but yeah, you can
Oh,
cast it.
right. Okay. I don't suppose there are any, like, okay, can I roll Arcana, maybe, to know what that would be in reference to?
For sure. Phil, you can read this.
Oh, great. What does it say?
You don't know what it says, but you know how to say it. It's very similar to deep speech.
Got it. I say it out loud.
It's Owinmin Relimquary.
Limnin. I know that name.
No, Owinin.
Owin.
Not Alimnin. Owinin Reliquary.
Limnin Reliquary. I say out loud.
I'll type it out.
Okay. Does that mean anything to you?
For the splittest second, I thought you said phylactery, and I was like,
What? I
Livin's
saw
a
you
lich
react
now.
really
Like, oh,
intensely.
like, fucking pardon me. Like,
Does it mean anything to me?
Reliquary is the word Midway calls themselves when they're trying to be haughty. And so Midway is that island that was in the middle of the sea before the island started rising up to the earth, and they were very finicky about their name being Reliquary. That's the only thing. Owinin is just kind of nonsense. But you can assume it means dust of.
Dust of Reliquary.
Scratching your chin like you know something. Excuse me. You're scratching your chin like you know something.
I actually am trying to know something, but I don't know it. I don't know what this is for. What's in the pouch?
When you open it up, it seems to just be perfectly normal soil, just dust. Very, very dry earth.
Hmm. Okay.
It's hard to detect much, but you can assume it has some sort of magical property.
I'm sorry that I'm making things difficult to identify in here. Let's find what we like, take it, and then I'll leave. Actually, as it were.
Lyre, are you still here? I just want to make
She's
sure.
muted.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry, continue.
Since I know I'm the one that is keeping you all from identifying or finding out more information about these items, I'll go on ahead and leave the room. I believe Karina knows how to reach me if you need me. Also, well, there's that, and then I'm gonna just leave.
I'm just gonna. I actually don't have identify, so I certainly can't cast it as a ritual.
I'm
I'll
actually
take care of that.
as
Sir Warren, would you mind?
I am going to tap Corvus, and I'm going to say, "Would you mind accompanying me?"
Corvus, you have this very, very interesting looking book in your hands.
I don't see why not.
Good, good. Then follow me, please. And then I'll leave.
Okay. This book that you have in your hands, do you leave it or do you hand it to like Qiao?
I'm gonna say I absent-mindedly just walk off with it.
Okay. Okay, you walk out of the room with them. After you guys are gone, do you cast detect magic on it?
Yes, please. Or rather, identify.
It has a very, it's a very low level divination magic that's applied to this dust. And it seems like this dust is just enchanted to float toward wherever it came from, wherever it was taken out of the earth. And so if you were to take like a pinch and throw it into the air, it would float toward wherever the Reliquary or the heart is.
Returning dirt.
Interesting. I'm going to ask the shopkeep if this dust came with the rest of these items.
It goes, yes, I do believe it did. We had a man who, unfortunately, poor soul died. Totally unrelated. But,
What a shame.
I believe he came from the southwest. He was somewhere far off from the southwest exploring, found a bunch of artifacts, and brought what he could.
Do you know what this dust does?
No idea.
Good. Well, it's not necessarily good. I would be happy to take it off your hands. What will you have for it?
He looks you up and down. Going to say 800 gold.
800 gold for a bag of dust. Who else is going to buy it?
Oh, I didn't know we were bartering. Are we bartering? Do you have your whole order put up?
I'll buy the damn dust. And I
Good,
buy the
good.
damned dust. I'll give him 80 platinum. Actually, I'll tell him, I'll make you I have an offer for you, a proposal perhaps. Personally, my coin purse is a little bit lighter than I'd like it to be. I mean, I could easily buy this several times over, but I would offer you either 800 gold pieces in platinum, 80 platinum, or I can offer you a check to the Bank of Old Wessex for 900 gold pieces for sparing me a trip to the bank. What do you say?
That is very good note, actually. I will take note. I will take note. Take note, and this deal.
It is deal? Good. I'm going to deduct 900 from my banks because
That
my
works
personal
great.
stocks are a little bit lighter. But yeah.
For sure. That book that Corvus has, I'm going to say you see that out of the corner of your eye, Qiao. It is definitely something very interesting. You see it has the same sort of writing that was on the bag of dust.
I'll take note of that. Do I note that he's gone with it?
So you haven't left the shop yet, right? Because the guy would have, the old man is like,
I mean, we were leaving.
so yeah, he's gonna stop you and just be like, "Hey, young sir, you need to pay for that if you're leaving with it."
Oh, what?
We're going to bring it back. Or are you just going to try and steal that? Because either way, we need to pay the man. Or you
Sorry,
could-
no, I didn't realize. Ciao, Emory. Perhaps you might find this interesting.
You hand it back.
I'll take the book, I guess.
Hand it off to people
Yeah.
with money.
So,
I show it to
Sir
Emory.
Emory, as you look at this book, it says "The Cradle of Errol," and that's the title of the book.
It says The Cradle of Errol. That's the title of this book. Let me flip it open and let me take a look at the first couple pages. What is this about?
It seems to be about the Errol family and the genealogy of Errol. The first thing that you see right at the top that is blasphemous in almost any part of belief about Errol or like the royal family, it says that the first Errol was a woman.
Well, this book claims the first Errol was a woman. Let me skip to the end of the book. Who was the last known descendant of Errol?
Near the end of the book, it starts to talk about raising water. It starts to talk about the sea approaching the city, and mass exodus and some of the Errolans refusing to leave. It mentions a small part of the royal family leaving before the book kind of ends. It kind of has a final entry. And it looks as if wherever this was became an island, and it kind of fell into obscurity, and this was kind of lost in some deep annals of the ruin.
Very interesting.
So, I mean,
yeah.
it probably matches with what you believe. Probably about 1,500 years ago is when this city would have been swallowed up by the sea.
Awesome. Is this stuff that I have not read before, or is this stuff that I pretty much know already?
This is stuff that you should know. I mean, how can I say this? The beginnings of the book are more interesting because they're older and they're an original source. You know, like it hasn't been warped by the passage of time over 15,000 years. Like that, for that, it's wildly precious. But a lot of like the broad strokes at the ending of the book are kind of the ideas you already
Common
knew.
knowledge.
Like, you know, yeah.
How much for the book?
He goes, look, all of that stuff was just garbage that guy brought in. I have been really struggling to sell it. Because you gave me note and extra 100 gold bonus, and you haven't killed me or any of my people, I will let you have for free.
Good man.
Anything else anybody would like to do before we close up for the night? Because we're kind of hitting the end of today.
While they are doing stuff, I'm going to take Corvus to the hospital.
Okay. You guys walk up to this hospital. It seems pretty normal.
Okay. And I'm going to say to Corvus, now disguised as a male nurse, or myself disguised as a male nurse, I'm going to say, be on the lookout for anyone with red hair or anyone doing anything suspicious. I remember where all the rooms are that the different people were in. I'd like to check them one by one.
And what? Make sure they're alive?
Something like that. And I say, is there anything you could do to make yourself look less conspicuous?
Not really, no.
Could you remove that ridiculous mask for
No.
Wait, how long have you been in that closet?
just an hour?
I cannot.
This might be difficult.
This is the way.
I turn you invisible.
Okay.
That is the way.
That is along the same path as the way. Is adjacent to the way.
And I walk in and I start checking the rooms.
Okay. Since you both are here, I'll let you both roll at disadvantage. These are the investigation checks. Give me 3 of them as well.
All 3 at disadvantage?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 6. Give me the lowest 3, or 2, lowest of each.
So that's 16, 13, and an 18. Not bad.
What's my mod for investigation? 3. Okay, so that's a 13. That's a 11. And that's another 13.
Okay. All these people look very normal. With that 19, Phil, you see a woman, or you see the same woman you were talking to the other day, trying out some of her own magic on herself. And she quickly turns herself into a male nurse for a moment and then removes the illusion. And she goes, wow, just whispers that under her breath. And you kind of see this moment for discovering her own power. But you don't find anything that's like someone sneaking in, or, you don't see anything that's not above board outside of like, some cleric sneaking, drinks of whiskey, or, like just like normal misbehavior.
Okay. Interesting. Cool. What do you want? I'm sorry I asked.
So Can I offer this kind of conversation at the table? Because this has been a full day, roughly, since we started the campaign, or since the earthquake. This has only been a full day. Some of the timing of these events may take longer over time. The airship will be working within 2 days, and you're kind of in this town to do other stuff. What do people feel motivated to do here?
Well, gambling, drinking, whoring, and playing the lyre.
Great as whoring. What? Better than that. You don't. You're muted, Lyre. You're muted.
I'm
Sorry.
going to keep my eyes wide open for Evelyn Saren.
Okay, so we are actually I have randomly been tasked to accompany Sir Emory Warren to find some land, right?
Pretty much.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I will at least make an attempt to see if there have been any surveys done or anything like that. I'm going to at least check into that in the next couple of days. And I'm also going to check in. Oh, man. I'm going to try to. Ow, you little jerk. Stop. My cat is attacking me. I hate to do it, but I'm going to go talk to Lyre, and I'm going to say, excuse me, I feel as though, possibly, that we need to find this Evelyn, and I don't think I will be able to do it mad. I think she's disguised herself. You're good at rumors and stuff. You could probably start something that might interest her, or something. I don't know. Some bard thing. Do bards do things?
Bards do things.
So I'm gonna try to convince Lyre over the next couple of days to help me maybe like do some regular sleuthing and talking to people to see if we can might find this person.
Okay, so let's say, because I don't want to force you guys to go through every excruciating detail the next 3 days, but we'll go over generalities like you've been talking about. So you're going to be trying to hunt down Evelyn, Alex, right?
Uh-huh.
And then Corvus, I'm assuming you're mostly going to be following Qiao.
Pretty much.
Lyre, you are in full party mode, right? You are singing in the bar every night.
We are docked.
You're muted, I think.
Am I?
I can hear.
Now you're not. Now you're not. Now you're good.
Okay, I'm like, I might be having some internet issues, but
Yeah.
I don't think I should be full muted right now. Ryan's left the house and isn't banging
You're good. So what are you doing?
Apparently, I'm being convinced to do stuff.
No, you're okay.
No,
Yeah, I said you can if you're partying and.
I'm incapable of convincing you to do things. I'm not good.
well, you're not taking into account of the interest that Lyre has in making you uncomfortable.
So I'm gonna say you can do a little bit of both and use some of your bard connections to see if you can find out more stuff. Phil, what are you doing?
While we're still in the hospital, for just a moment, and because it is very stupid, I'm going to take off my amulet.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I'm going to sort of whisper under my breath, if you want me, here I am. And then I'm going to put it back on.
Are you talking to, who are you trying to communicate to?
Anybody that I think is listening.
Is that an amulet of non-detection?
Sure is.
That might be attunement.
I've had it for quite a while.
Yeah, but if you take it off and show yourself, you might be visible for a full hour or for the full hour while you attune.
So
It does
I'm going
require-
to say kind of it's been pretty established. That's not something I'm worried about. You take off the amulet and ask people to come find you. You feel nothing. You don't feel Pith reaching out to you. You haven't felt Pith reach out to you for a long time. Even when the earthquake happened, you didn't feel like she was reaching out to you. You felt like it was just like an indiscriminate hurling of energy into the world. You feel like a million unread messages in your like mental inbox. You feel like somebody has been trying to reach you for a really long time, and the messages have just been accumulating. And it's not like a giant wash because they're old, but you kind of just hear this general murmur of what you consume to be Salamel's voice, just being like, we need to talk. Please, I want to help you. You're critical to this mission. Please help me figure this out. I know you have good in you. And just kind of all happening at the same time. But as you put it back on, the messages stop again. But it doesn't seem like anything's being sent actively to you. It's just kind of like a ton of different residual effects of a bunch of message spells and, from really powerful people. Ah, dang it. My internet is the worst. Hey, I'm back
Hey,
now.
at least you weren't stopped dabbing or something.
Was I dabbed? Was I here? Was I some?
No.
Oh my gosh.
You just had 4 people in the chat like dab at you, so did that work out for you, Phil?
Huh?
You got like 4 people in the chat to dab.
Oh, I didn't plan on that, but
You shouldn't have said it. Never said
Lick a gift horse in the mouth.
anyway.
So, I'm gonna say everybody does their own respective thing. Sir Emory, what do you do during these next 3 days?
It's going to be a lot of hanging out at the tavern, keeping an eye out for Evelyn.
Okay. So I'm gonna go through everybody's thing. Phil and Alex, if you'll both roll me a with advantage investigation check. Oh, come on. Do you guys hear me?
No.
I don't know how to make my hand glitch. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm finally back. This is the worst. This is gonna be such a funny recording.
Holding that position is awful. We're glad you're back.
So I'm gonna Alex and Phil to roll me at advantage investigation checks. I want Warren to roll me an Arcana check. You can roll me this with advantage as well. And Lyre, roll me performance checks. Roll me 2 more of those.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
An 18 from Sir Emory Warren.
18. Okay.
With advantage, it'll be a 19 for Johan.
Okay. So Johan, Corvus is kind of helping you guys out as you're doing this. You find no mention of a woman with red hair anywhere around the town, but you also don't hear any news of anyone leaving town. It seems like for the past 3 days, everything's been chaotic with this stuff, and no ships have been leaving. There's just been too much chaos because of all these new warlocks and everything. So with reasonable, deniability, nobody's gone. But you hear over the next few days more and more people talking about going toward where the warlocks were encouraged to go. Remember, they all felt this pull to go toward the west, and hear a couple people talking about starting like caravans out there. Alex, you, over the next 3 days, your hawk goes around. You see a couple other orcs, and you do see an orc woman at one point that's kind of in a seedier area of the town. But you aren't able to like track her down over the next 2 days. But you can tell that she is probably the orc in question from the ship. And it's kind of like a weird bonding experience with the town. Everybody seems to be pretty chilled out, and nobody's like freaking out. Everybody's trying to like take care of each other because of this big crisis. And your hawk has confirmed when people are leaving and exiting as well, the city, because it's not super huge. And you're pretty confident you haven't heard of anybody leaving the town over the past 3 days.
Okay.
Addison, you have, with your experience of studying these runes in this language, you find the runes in Phil's room, and you start to piece together that deep speech and Orellan are like the same language through a different filter. It's like the same language with a different handwriting and flavor. It seems like deep speech and Orellan, not the glyphic form. The glyphic form seems to be some sort of exclusion. Like the glyphic like picture form of Orellan and deep speech seem to be different, but they seem to be the same root language.
Very interesting. Given that, well, perhaps if Pith and Orellan spoke the same language, it stands to reason that their worshippers would speak similar languages.
Lyre, you hear rumors of a party caravan. You hear rumors of a bunch of people who are getting together like an orgy bus to go out to this center of the area. A lot of them have been talking about having strange dreams where they feel like they're encouraged to like sleep around, and they think that that's Pith telling them to like get busy. And a lot of them have been talking about just like, you know, like, yeah, it sounds like awesome. You hear a remark of this half-orc woman putting it together.
Okay. I'll tell that to Qiao. I'm like, do you want to go on an orgy bus? I heard there's some half-orc woman putting it together.
Is Qiao this alert in game as well?
Wait. Oh, I thought you were saying that to Karina.
No, I was saying that to Qiao.
I'm gonna say, no, thank you. My father tried to start one of those, and I'm pretty sure that we lost a couple of older nobles. So I think that I'll stay off of that. Thank you.
Weren't you worried about some orc lady? There's some orc lady going on the trip.
I thought she was a half-orc.
Well, like half orc, you can still look orcish.
I see. I mean, I find it difficult to believe that Lady Evelyn would. Well, I don't know her that well. Sure, let's check out the orgy bus. I don't want to go on it though.
Sure, let's check out the orgy bus.
I'm going to look around at the destruction of the city, and I'm going to say, I feel as though sleeping around is more dangerous than we initially thought it was. And just gonna.
We don't have to have sex. We could just say that we're voyeurs. Voyeurs? How do you pronounce that?
Voyeurs.
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 Voyai.
Voyai. So the dawn of the third day comes, and it starts to reach noon. It's extremely important to ask this question. Have anybody fooled around with anybody? Or has anybody gotten married over the last 3 days?
No.
Or killed anyone over the last 3 days?
All right. Well, Phil, you get another level of source of Warlock, and so too does Lyre. And the city descends into chaos again for a day as people suddenly realize they're more powerful.
Are we gonna play that out next time, or are you just gonna have that be it?
Yeah, I guess we'll play that again. An earthquake starts again, but it's less severe than the first time, and it's much shorter. And this earthquake starts to happen.
So I would have been spending most of my time hanging around that hospital, trying to see if Evelyn ever made her way back there. So I suppose I'll be there whenever this all starts. But
Okay. I'm going to have you roll me. You've been there for a long time. You have not seen anybody come up.
I'm also just trying to make sure none of the cursed people kill each other.
So far, it hasn't seemed like it's the case. They seem pretty chill. Outside of the original Fury, they haven't been freaked out. We'll play right as this earthquake happens next session.
Okay. But we still get that level?
Yep, calculated in. Karina goes, oh gosh, as the earthquake starts going. Anything people want to do before, they say or talk about?
Nope.
All right, well, I hope you guys had a good session. I'm going to stop the recording.